Hi, ich bin Marco von iPhone.
Hi, I'm Marco from iDoc. If your iPhone fell down and your display is cracked, this video shows you how to easily fix it yourself. This fix is hard because some parts are glued and you have to take out many different screws. You should plan about 60 to 90 minutes. We recommend the following tools: a Y-type screwdriver, a pentalobe screwdriver, and a Phillips screwdriver, a hard plastic pick, ESD tweezers, a steel spatula, a plastic spudger, and a suction cup. You also need a heat gun or a hairdryer to remove strongly glued parts. You can find the required spare part in the video info below. The most important tools come with our iDoc repair kit. On our website idoc.eu, you can find this guide with detailed photos and videos for each step. If you have any questions, just leave a comment. Now enjoy this fix.
Bei der Reparatur.
Before you start, you should have all your tools ready. Also work on a clean surface to prevent dirt from entering and scratching the iPhone. Before any repairs, you should turn off your iPhone to avoid short circuits. Now you can remove the pentalobe screws. To soften the display glue, use a heat gun or a hairdryer. The glue is around the edges of the display. Heating lets you remove the display more easily. Now take the suction cup and stick it on the display above the home button. Then pull on the suction cup while pressing a tool into the gap between the display and the frame. Once you've stuck the pick between the glass and the back cover edge, you can run the pick all around the frame. This slowly unglues the display. Make sure not to stick the pick too far into the device when removing the display. Be extra careful not to damage the display connection cables. If the display of your iPhone is badly cracked, you should tape it. Take a strip of packing tape and paste it directly onto the splintered display. This gives the suction cup better hold. Once the glue is removed all around, you can open the display. You can also lean the display against an object. Make sure that your iPhone does not slip away. Don't unfold the display more than 180 degrees, otherwise the cables could be overstrained. Now, loosen the 4 Phillips screws of the bracket. Always pay attention to the size and type of the screws. Make sure not to mix them up. Using the wrong screws can damage your phone. We recommend using our iDoc magnetic pad to store the screws. Under the metal plate is the battery connector. You should always disconnect this first. We recommend a plastic spudger to unplug connectors. A plastic tool avoids short circuits. As long as the battery is still connected, the device has power. Wrongly connected display connectors may cause a short circuit. This can also damage your backlight, so always disconnect your battery to be safe. Now you can disconnect the cables of the display and the home button. Pull off the connectors as evenly as possible. Be careful not to bend the connectors and damage other parts of the logic board. Now remove the second bracket. Under the bracket are the connectors for the front camera and for the earpiece. Remove these with a plastic spudger. When all connections are off, you can remove the display. To remove the earpiece, now loosen the Phillips screws. Be careful not to mix up the screws. The long screw could drill into the paint layer of the new display. This would show as a bright spot on the new display. Now you can remove the bracket. Lift the camera from its holder so you can remove the earpiece. Since the FaceTime cable is slightly glued, heat it first. Use the lab spatula to loosen the cable little by little. Take your time. Be really careful not to damage the cable. Once the cable is loose, you can pry the sensors out of their holders. Loosen the 4 Y-type screws to remove the home button bracket. Pry with a spudger from the side of the metal plate to unplug the home button connector. Before you can remove the home button cable, we recommend you heat the cable again, just like the FaceTime cable. Then slide the spatula between the cable and the display to gradually loosen the glue. Be extra careful, otherwise it could damage the home button. This would affect not just the home button but also the Touch ID function. Once the home button cable is loose, you can take out the home button from the front. To remove the display rear panel, now loosen the Y-type screws. You should not use a sharp or pointed tool or you might damage the underlying cables. Once the glue is off, you can remove the metal plate. Now take your new display. Check if you need to reuse any small parts. Check if the parts such as the transparent plastic frame for the proximity sensor and the plastic bracket for the front camera come with the new display. Also remove the protective films and all seals so you can attach the metal plate to the new display unit. Now position the metal plate and fasten it using the Y-type screws. Now take the home button cable and insert it through the hole from the front. Lift this connector here and slide the home button cable underneath it. The plastic pin helps you position the cable. Now you can connect the cable to the connector. Then position the metal plate and fasten it using the Y-type screws. You can reinstall the FaceTime cable now. Start with the sensors. Press all the sensors into their intended positions. Then use the small plastic pins to position the rest of the FaceTime cable. Lightly press down the cable so the glue can bond. Next, lift the camera cable and put the earpiece back into its hole. You can now put the camera back into its holder and fasten the bracket using Phillips screws. We also recommend using a new display sticker to restore the iPhone's protection against dust and spray water. First, remove all old glue residue so the new glue will stick properly. However, note that the iPhone is not 100% water protected. Make sure the frame sticker is aligned correctly before pasting it on. Look at the corners to see which edges face up or down. Then position the film flush on the device and lightly press it down. Paste down the glue all around. Now you can also remove the second protective film layer. Check again if the frame sticker is positioned correctly and press it down again if necessary. Lift the tab and slowly pull off the last part of the protective film. Slightly lean the display against an object. Now you can plug in the connector. This is a little tricky because the cable is slightly twisted. Then attach and fasten the bracket. Now connect the cables for the display and home button. Try to position the cables correctly and not to slip over the socket. The connectors should snap into place with a slight click. The cables should not be overstrained. Now you can reconnect the battery. Now you can fasten the bracket. Use the 4 Phillips screws to fasten it. Then slowly fold the display down and close it. In the end, you should test your new display. First check the brightness and then the touch screen. Pick any app on the screen and slowly drag it across the display in a zigzag pattern and along the display edges. This lets you check if the touch screen responds everywhere. Make sure the display is positioned correctly before you press it down. Then press down the display all around to make it sit flush on the frame. Now you can fasten the 2 pentalobe screws. Your display is fixed now. I hope you had lots of fun. You're welcome to write any questions, suggestions and hints in the comment section. We are always happy to help you out. If you like the video, subscribe and give us a thumbs up. See you next time.
Bis zum nächsten Mal.